Hi, I'm Sean Reardon, Mayor of Newburyport, and welcome to the latest edition of the Mayor's Corner. Happy school vacation week, everybody. I know my kids got the heck out of town. They're up there skiing with their mom up in North Conway. It's really cold up there, but they're really enjoying it. They're actually running into other Newburyporters up there, which is really great. I know I've seen friends and family who are traveling not only in the United States, but all across the world this week. Again, the kids are off. It's a good time to get away. It's the middle of winter. We've been getting storm after storm, and it's just freezing out. So it's great to see people get away. And you know what? They'll all be back this weekend, and they'll be back at it. I actually have to go to Long Island this weekend for an outside soccer tournament. I had to go to the same one last year for my daughter, but I have to drive her down, Ruby down this weekend for it. So we leave this weekend, and it's a soccer showcase. I think the high is going to be like 35 each day or something like that. So not the best outdoor soccer weather, but maybe it's a sign that spring is coming, that we're starting to do things outside again. So that's what I got going on. But it's also been very busy this week. Typically, we try to avoid things happening in the city during this week because so many people are out of town because of school vacation week. But we actually had a lot going on. So we actually had a city council meeting last night, and I'll get to that in 1 second. And we also have a zoning meeting tonight at the senior center, 7 o'clock. I know you won't see this will come out tomorrow, but there's also a big zoning meeting tonight around the Brown School Adaptive Reuse project that's going to bring 29 100% affordable units to that space as well. So that's happening tonight, and we had city council last night. Now, the biggest thing that happened around city council last night is that I submitted my plan for the Recreation and Youth Services Center at 59 Low Street, okay? This has been a 3-year long process for me in this job. Again, this was one of the reasons why I ran for mayor. The Brown School heating system stopped working in October of 2021, kind of in the middle of my campaign. I really think it's probably a big reason why I'm sitting here is because of my support of that project. Now here we are 3 years later, and we finally got some answers and a path forward, okay? So what happened on Valentine's Day, so last Friday, we had a very public opening of the bids, right? We put out a bid for the project. We had 7 people submit bids for it, 7 contractors submit bids for it. And we opened those down at DPS. The place was packed. The paper was there. We had other elected officials there. We had citizens there to see these openings because we all kind of wanted to know, like, where did it land, right? And it actually landed right where we thought it was going to. The low bid was from LD Russo from Harvard, Mass. That actually company has some local roots, which is also really great. They came in at a base bid of $6.8 million and change. And then with the add-on, which is replacing the roof, that was the add alternate to the bid, which we absolutely want to do, so we're including that. But with the add alternate, it came in at 7.1, all right? Now we were thinking around $8 million total, right? And so this really lines up right where we thought we were going to be. Then you factor in all the things that we're going to have to do down there, apart from just building the rec center. There's the work on Low Street that we want to do. We want to make that as pedestrian friendly as possible, especially that crossing from the middle school over to the new rec center. So there's those improvements that we'd like to do. We have to take Parks, which is at the site at 59 Low Street right now. We're going to move them officially down to DPS on Perry Way. That's going to cost some money. We have to have an owner's project manager for the project. So we're doing that. We're actually budgeting more than we did for the fire station project that we just finished for that. And then you also have a contingency, right? Because things happen during the project. And so you have to have some wiggle room and some money around a contingency. We're actually doing a bigger contingency than we did with the fire station as well. So we actually have a pretty conservative number that we're putting forth to City Council. And all told, you add all that up with the $7.1 million and then the other funds we're going to need with all those things I just mentioned, and we come in at around $8.29 million, which is a lot of money, and I know that. We just finished a fire station for $9 million, right? So we've had some pretty big, high-ticket projects the last couple years, and that's not lost on me at all, okay? Now, that still doesn't mean that I don't think this is the absolute #1 priority of not only the city, but my administration in particular, right? Again, we've been talking about this and we've been going down this path for 3 years, and now we're finally at the end of it. And another thing that's important about this is that we're more further along in a project than we've ever been before without actually committing to it. And what I mean by that is typically And this happened with the fire station. You get approval from the city council around a concept design on a fire station, and then you go into construction document phase. And in the fire station's case, once they got through that phase, they realized they were $3 million off, and we had to go back to city council and ask for more money. In this case, we've gotten all the way to the end of construction document phase and then went out to bid. So we have a pretty solid number, right? That number is not going to change as long as you start the project in a certain amount of time, okay? And so when we did those bids, we made sure that we made sure the contractors knew that those bids would have to be valid for 110 days, right? Because we didn't know exactly where the funding was going to come from yet. So we wanted to give us enough time to get the right approvals from city council and, in this case, the residents as well. So what happens next? All right, so we got the bids. We immediately filed some late files into the city council packet on Tuesday night, and it kind of just outlined our funding plan for this project, right? The first thing we're doing, we're asking for a $2 million bond from city council, okay? And again, I think some of the biggest questions about this project was, how are we going to fund it? We have the capacity right now, and I think Ethan Manning, our finance director, has said this from the beginning. We have the capacity right now to bond for that $8.29 million. It'd be done like that, all right? We have the capacity to do it, all right? Now, for those who are concerned about the price, I wanted to find a little bit of more reasonable approach and more of a compromise that I thought more councilors could get on board with and would give the city some flexibility moving forward, right? So I didn't want to take up all of our bonding capacity just like that. So what I'm going to ask for from council is a $2 million bond, right? That still gives us some flexibility for other things that might come in the next couple years, right? So $2 million bond gives us some flexibility. It fits into our debt service already, all right? And again, depending on how the budget works out, I mean, that's not going to be any additional cost to residents, or at least that's our plan. And then what else do we have? We've been trying to private fundraise, right? So we think between the sale of the Kelly School funds, the sale of the Brown School funds, the opioid funds that we've been getting and collecting, again, with the idea of using it for something like this, any kind of the fundraising, capital fundraising we've been doing, like talking to local banks and foundations, we think we're probably going to have about around $2 million there, right? So there's $4 million for the project, right? So just about half, or a little less than half. Now, whatever's left over, we'd like to go to a debt exclusion vote, all right? And I don't take those lightly. Those are very difficult votes to pass, all right? We just went through a debt exclusion campaign last year around Whittier, which was at a completely different scale as something like this. And that's why I was okay, I think, at the end to go to the debt exclusion vote, because we've been through this process for 3 years. Let's let the residents decide what kind of community they would like to live in. I think we would need... I think this is an important project because this is exactly the type of community I want to live in. I want to continuously be investing in the physical and mental well-being of our residents. All right? I believe in the Recreation and Youth Services Department and all they do. And now that we've put adult rec into that, now you're talking about a building that the whole city and the whole community of all ages are going to be able to enjoy and get use of, right? So that's to me is the impact of this project, and I'm looking forward to talking about this in the coming days, weeks, and months. We're eyeing May 6th. It's a Tuesday. It's right before we submit the budget to council, but we're eyeing that as the day for the debt exclusion vote. Hopefully it's a beautiful day in May, and we'll get a lot of people to come out and voice their opinion about this project. Again, the buildup over 3 years. I mean, I think the most reasonable thing to do is let you, the voter, the resident, decide, the taxpayer decide if this is the direction you want to see the city go in. And because, usually debt exclusions are used for such bigger projects, or you package projects in. I mean, the last one the city did, we had the Bresnahan School, we had the work done at the middle school, and we had the senior center all packaged together, right, in the Port Pride campaign. So that was a much bigger project. We're suggesting we're going to do a debt exclusion for a pretty small project, and really under $5 million, right? $4 million plus dollars, which is going to average out to $38 a whole year for the average taxpayer, right? And right now, the average taxpayer's home is over $1 million, right? So I know my home's not close to $1 million. It's pretty close, but not as close. But so that number can go up or down depending on what your home is worth. But for the average taxpayer, it's going to be $38 for the whole year, or just over $3 a month. And again, for an asset that the whole community is going to be able to use and take advantage of, and something that's going to impact the community for generations to come, I think it's a small price to pay. And that's the case I'm going to make to Newburyport and its voters here in the next, again, coming weeks and months as we get to that May 6th vote. So I guess I'll pause there for now, but that's where we're at. So all these late files that we submitted into the council, they'll start taking these up. And I think it'll be a committee of the whole in budget and finance where they'll do that. And it's a pretty tight timeline, right? So again, I'm going to really have to emphasize to the councilors to try to stick to that timeline because of the extension that we had to put on the 110 days for those costs that were presented in those bids to still be good. Again, May 6th was like the absolute last day that we could hold on and have a vote for that. So we've got a good 2 months here to work it out. So which I think is plenty of time, much more time than we had with Whittier, just a year ago. So that's where we're at. I'm excited about this project. We're going to be talking about it a whole lot, and again, here we go, and we're going to know either way how we move forward with this. But I do think the plan that we've provided has been so carefully planned, probably over-planned, and it's the most thoughtful, reasonable plan that keeps the taxpayers, the impact to the residents and taxpayers in mind moving forward. So that's where we're at with that. What else? Just real quick, State of the City is coming up next Wednesday. We're excited about it. It's going to be a great night. We're just finalizing the program for that. Again, the governor is going to be speaking. The state auditor, Diana Zoglio, is going to be speaking. I will be speaking. I'm going to keep it under a half hour. So if you want to come hear about all the great things we did this year and what's coming up next, please attend that night. But more importantly, we're going to have our third annual Public and Community Service Awards. All the winners have been notified, and so you'll see some more information coming out about that in the coming days. But we've got a really great group of residents and business owners that we are recognizing this year for all the great work that they're doing here in our city. And that's my Mayor's Corner this week. I want to say go Clippers. State tournament is coming up and all the winter sports. Good luck out there. I'll be there cheering you on. And I will see you all next time on the Mayor's Corner.